So my name's Tom Snell. I am the IT service operations manager, and I look after a lot of the third line sort of resource that we have within the team. So Vertu is a motor retailer in the UK. So we have around, probably over 180 dealership retail outlets in the country. So that's ranging from the southwest all the way down to a place called Truro, all the way up into Scotland, around the Central Belt, Edinburgh, Glasgow, and everywhere in between. So quite a wide geographical range, multiple different brands involved. We have volume, so all the way from Vauxhall, Citroën, Peugeot, etc., all the way up to BMW, Jaguar Land Rover, and a Ferrari dealership that we're all quite very proud of. Unique challenges that we experience in our industry, I mean, mostly from my point of view, speaking from like a technology point of view, we have a lot of manufacturing systems that we have to help sort of maintain and access, and they range depending on the brand that you're working in. But also we have a lot of regulatory things we have to make sure that we're doing. Yeah, so the challenges we experienced prior to OneSite Patch was we didn't really have the observability or the time to be able to effectively manage all of the patching that was within an environment of our size. So a lot of it was as best endeavors as we could. If we would find a particular software that needed some patching, we would find it by either an alert or by some threat intelligence that we've been given, something like that. Now, with this, we can actually be more effective in patching those stuff. We get the information in and we can also deploy it quite quickly. So that's really helped us with our challenge. Before that, we really were sort of in the dark a lot of the time, I would say. Gives us a lot more sort of feeling of that we're actually making progress and we're in control, which I think affects not just me, but also my team, because they feel like they are seeing more success than what they were before, which is obviously a good boost for everyone. A lot of it was our own sort of grit and grind to sort of go through the infrastructure and assess things manually, which, as you can imagine, is quite a long-winded and tough thing to do week in, week out, because you're sort of chasing your tail a lot of the time. So what we really needed was something to help us do that legwork, and then for us to use that valuable tool to then go to the next step of deploying the patching and get on control, because it's almost like having an extra person in the team, but can do it a lot faster, basically. We chose Adaptiva and OneSite Patch mainly for two reasons really in my view. One was the overview and the how deep it can get into your infrastructure to assess the software on an individual device. And having 5,500 devices sort of enrolled now gives you an idea of the scale that we were sort of dealing with. So to have a patch management system that can get in there and really tell us to the individual device what's going on and what we could target was quite key. Another one was the deployment of it. So the deployment of Adaptiva for us is quite seamless. So it's an agent, comes on the machine, silent, nobody even knew it was even installed, and then it was giving us the data. So to be able to do that in an environment our size and not cause any disruption was another massive positive, because the last thing you want is to tell 5,500 people you have to reboot when you're installing something. It's not the easiest thing to do or plan. So to be able to do that seamlessly was ideal. So because we have multiple sites spread all over the country, we don't necessarily have the manpower or the availability of resource to get to these sites individually, sort of day in, day out. We do have a network of field engineers who work extremely hard, but they can't be everywhere all the time. This has become our overseeing eye for third-party patching. So this enables us to be in the dealerships all the time, looking at what's there and what we need to be patching. We're not relying on the manual kind of effort that maybe you would do in the past before these technologies have come. We now have almost, as I say, like an overseeing eye telling us centrally here where we need to be looking and what we need to deploy and where the sort of biggest vulnerabilities are. And it's helped us sort of reduce our vulnerabilities across the estate massively, which is great. So it's helped us address critical vulnerability patches faster by, to be honest, actually being able to physically see them. So that does sound quite bad, but with an infrastructure of this size, it's making sure that you have, the biggest thing is visibility, and to be able to attack them a lot faster. It's that instant one plane of grass screen that you get of on the system to show these are all different bits of software that you have. This is the highest sort of recorded software vulnerability that you have on multiple different devices. Here's a patch for it and deploy. So it's more than sort of cut our time by. Yeah, I mean it's more than half it. If I was to describe Adaptiva from one word, I would probably have to say efficient. And the reason I would say efficient is because that's what it's been able to help my team be. So they're able to be efficient. They're able to attack objectives effectively and make them come to a sort of the right conclusion. So that's probably how I'd describe the software.